How's it going, friends? Sleepy here, and welcome to the first episode in my brand new discussion series, Consoles, Games, Collecting. Today's topic is going to be all about strategy guides, why I love them, why I like using them, why I think you should buy them, why I think you should collect them. Of course, this discussion series is always going to be open for discussion, so I want to hear your guys' thoughts, your guys' opinions. I appreciate everyone who participates in my discussion series. Leave your comments down below. Let me know your guys' thoughts and stuff. It's one of the main reasons why I created this series, is so that we can get discussions going on various topics. So today's topic is all about strategy guides. Now, I absolutely love strategy guides. I have been buying, collecting, and using strategy guides for years now. I remember buying back in the day, buying them for PC games and buying them for console games, because at the time when strategy games were first coming out, there was no internet at the time. Then the internet started coming out, but there wasn't really a way for you to get tips and tricks for games other than gaming magazines and strategy guides, and they were always packed with wonderful tips. And so that's why I absolutely love them. Now, of course, as the internet has become more popular over the years and more people have access to it, the need for strategy guides has really declined over the years. And sadly, all of the strategy guide producers, all the companies who made them, have all folded up and closed down. Prima Guides closed down, Brady Games, GW Press, Nintendo with their Nintendo Power brand of strategy guides. All that stuff has gone to the wayside because of the digital age and the access to the internet, which sucks because I've always loved strategy guides. And I've got some strategy guides here. I have a little nice pile. I'll talk about some of the ones that I like. So the first one here is Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the official strategy guide, which I absolutely love using strategy guides. For me, I feel they really enhance the games you play, as these are packed with all kinds of tips and secrets. Like on the back here, it says the missions, what to drive, where to go, who to knock off to earn respect and cash in every mission, the secrets, hidden packages, rampages, unique stunt jumps, new vehicles, and more. The maps, a complete visual reference for Vice City. Find everything. The vehicles, a virtual showroom of Vice City's sweetest rides. And the list also came packed with a bonus item, because a lot of them do, like posters and stuff. This has a great, plus a giant two-sided poster that has where all the hidden packages are located in Vice City, which is great because we find all the secrets packages. It unlocks weapons and armor and stuff to use at your safe houses. So these always came in very handy. I always love the work that the writers of these strategy guys put in. They took a lot of work. Like this Tim guy, he had to play the game, had to go through an experience, find all the secrets that are in there, and then write a comprehensive guide on how to get stuff, which is what I really loved about strategy guides, especially some of them that are all colorful, they're detailed, with great pictures and visuals and stats on things. Like they really help you use stuff in the game and strategies and tips on how to beat difficult sections, because some games can be really hard. It's really hard to find everything that's hidden in these worlds without having a guide to help you, especially when it comes to hidden secrets and stuff, because some of these games are packed full of secrets that you'll never find on your own unless you have a guide. So I really like having them. Another one I got here recently, got this as a gift for my buddy Dean. He gave me The Club, which I'm looking forward to going through and playing this game. Now I have this wonderful strategy guide that I can use. It says it has the event directory, so you've got detailed maps and step-by-step strategy for each event, provided precise locations of every enemy and when to target the skull shots to max out your combos. It even has a little thing in here about beating the author's time, that they included their best scores and challenge. Can you beat the authors of the strategy guide and their work on there? So I thought that's something that's really sweet. Another one here, Ghost Recon Island Thunder, which this was is a squad-based jungle warfare. I always loved the SOCOM series, so I got this wonderful guide from my buddy Dean as well. It's got exhaustive stealth strategies for 8 new single-player missions, and even has stuff for the multiplayer, which I'm not big into multiplayer, but you have tips and tricks in there as well. So I really like having these strategy guides. So that was a cool one to get. This next one I'm going to share with you is one that my buddy Grant and I have found very useful. As we've been trying to beat this game now for a few years. We're trying to get all 101% in the game, and that was Donkey Kong 64. This is the official player's guide from Nintendo Power. So this has a detailed directions to help you find all of the 201 golden bananas, complete maps of all 8 levels, from your front door to the final confrontation. All the tips you need to track down 101% of all items in the game, from bananas to battle crowns to banana fairies. Boss strategy, professional ape advice, and the scoop on all the cheats. Play along with the Kong's greatest hits. So just really useful. Like, I just love using strategy guides because for me, I feel they really enhance the games that I play, and it's something that I really enjoy having in my collection. Now, a really interesting fact about strategy guides is there are some games that have multiple strategy guides, like this Donkey Kong 64. It got like something like 10 different kinds of strategy guides for it. There's this official Nintendo Power one, there's a Brady one, there's a Prima guide one, and then there are different variants of the Prima guide. Like they had some of the exclusive posters. There was like a Toys R Us one. There's a I think there was like a Funko Land one. There was like a Kmart one. You know, it was just crazy to think that some of these games not only got a strategy guide, but they got multiple versions of the strategy guide as well. It's just really unique. It's just really cool that some games got so many strategy guides when there are games that didn't even get a single one, and you got other ones that could have like 10 different guides for it, which is just great. And you have ones that have different ones. Another one here is like Driver 2 official strategy guide, but this is from GW Press, which I also have the Prima strategy guide for Driver 2. So they are different a little bit because you have different authors and different people that produce these, so their work's going to be a little different. I didn't even know that this guide existed. I only knew about the Prima one. I happened to see this at the game store. It was like $5. I picked it up. Thought it'd be kind of cool to go through and see what the differences are in the strategy guide and see if one maybe is better than the other. But I really do love the details. I love the quality of the pages in strategy guides and just how useful they are. Because, you know, I've used the internet for guides. I've gone on there and used GameFAQs as example, but I find a lot of those to be very poorly written, and they can be very confusing because it's all text-based guides. And some of them are useful, but some of them can be really hard to understand what the writer of the guide is trying to tell you, because sometimes they'll be kind of vague. It'll be like, all right, so you go down this path past a blue rock, and you turn right and jump up this path, and then you'll be here and turn around, and there's the item for you. And it's just really confusing. Like, well, did I go down far enough the path? Did I not go down far the path? That's why I like having a strategy guide where I have visuals written with the guide so you can see what they're talking about and where to go. Like, oh, okay, now I see on the map where it's located at. So that's where it can be really confusing. Now, of course, there are also strategy videos that they have on like IGN, and some of the game sites had, you know, strategy guides with little strategies on those sites with videos and stuff. And of course, there are video guides on YouTube, which are also a lot more helpful. But you know, you just can't beat holding a physical book in your hand that you can hold, read, and really appreciate it. So I will always love a physical strategy guide over digital ones, which they do actually still produce some games in digital format, which you can buy and then view on your tablet or on your phone or something, or your computer. But for me, it's just not the same thing as holding a physical strategy guide, and it's really sad that strategy guides have gone by the wayside. Another one I have here is for a game called Silver that I have on the Sega Dreamcast, which I didn't even know that this strategy guide existed until I got a recommendation for it from eBay. And it's a game that I had actually started playing last year because I had it as a kid. I never did beat it, and it kind of got shelved. And then I just decided I wanted to try playing through it again, and I have been. And now that I have the strategy guide, you know, it's really going to help me find all the secrets, because this has tactics for mastering the secret of the 8 orbs, walkthroughs for the world of Jahar, strategies for defeating every boss, advanced combat tactics, and location of all items, chests, switches, and story objects. And what's really unique about this strategy guide is it's similar to the older strategy guides that we got on PC, where the pages are actually in black and white, and the paper's not as good quality as the high glossy paper that some of the newer strategy guides had. But I just think it's really neat, as this just is like a brings back memories of using those old PC strategy guides that were always in black and white, which is just pretty cool. They're still useful, still unique. Of course, I prefer them being color, but I like this book. It's just like a throwback to the old days of the strategy guides. So something I really love having, and it's definitely going to enhance my gameplay of Silver. Another one we got here is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga Secret Advanced Commands Revealed from Prima. This is another one of those games that got multiple strategy guides. There's a Nintendo Power version. I think there's also a Brady version of this game. But I love strategy guides, especially for RPG games like this, because those worlds are so massive, filled with side quests and collectibles to find, and there is no way you'll be able to discover it on your own. I also like the fact that sometimes there are hard choices you have to make in a game, and if you don't make the right choice, you might mess up your playthrough, or you might even miss out on something. Like sometimes there's like a point of no return, like, hey, if you go past this point, you can't go back, and you'll miss all those side quests. So it's nice to have a book that helps you and tells you that, hey, you're about to make a big choice in this game, and if you go past here, you can't go back, because not all games have multiple saves. Sometimes they use one save slot, and once you go there, you might have to restart the whole game to be able to do everything in it. So that's where I find strategy guides helpful. Another one here we got is Banjo-Tooie. This was from Nintendo Power, another one that has a couple different versions of it. Game that I really enjoyed on Nintendo 64, and now I have the strategy guide, which will really help me and enhance my love of the game and being able to play through and beat it, which is great. Now, I only buy and collect strategy guides that I actually plan to use or have used. I don't buy them simply just to collect them, to have on the shelf and to show off, which is definitely not the right way I collect, and I don't think you should collect that way either. There are some people who simply collect things just to show off and brag, and hey, I got this rare strategy guide, and you know I'm better than you basically because I have it and I found it for this price, and they're all about bragging. I mean, when I share something, I just like to share it with people that this is something that's cool, it's a neat item, and I think you guys would enjoy seeing it, and I think you guys would enjoy using it or having it, whether it's a game or a book or something. I do understand the fun collecting aspect of the hobby, and it's fun to collect and stuff, but you know strategy guides are meant to be used. It's something to hold and use and enhance your game. It's not meant to just sit on the shelf and collect dust to look pretty, to show off to somebody that you found a rare guide. You should use them. If you're collecting them, use them. They're meant to be used. So that's why um, I only buy them. Now there's a couple strategy guides I have, like some Madden ones, like they came in a lot that I bought on eBay, or a buddy gave them to me. And I didn't want to say, hey, I don't want, he gave me a stack of strategy guides, like, oh, I don't want these Madden ones. I just took them. I'm being nice. I'm not going to hurt someone's feelings and say, oh, I don't really use that. So I have some of those in my collection, but I don't go out of my way to buy them. I'm not going for like a full, complete strategy guide set to have every strategy guide in the world. I just want the ones I'm going to actually play, that I actually use when I play my games, which I do have a nice, I have a pretty decent sized collection of strategy guides. And so for myself, I'm actually um, coming to a point where I won't need to buy any more strategy guides as my collecting is winding down, as I have a little list of the specific ones I want to get. Now, there are some that I want that are just way out of my price range, like my buddy Dean. I've been helping him wrap up his collection because, just like myself, he wants to eventually have an end point. He just doesn't want to be collecting forever and never ending. He wants to be able to play and enjoy the stuff he has. And if he just spends his whole life buying and collecting, he'll never have a chance to enjoy what he already has. And so there are a few guides that I'm trying to find for him that are just at insane price levels. Like, he wants to get the Red Dead Redemption 2 Collector's Strategy Guide, which I was able to get it for a good price from my local game stores, because it was, I think, originally priced at $50. It just hadn't sold for a while, and so I got it for a lot cheaper. But now people want a crazy amount for it. People want $200 and $300 for that strategy guide because it was produced in very small, limited quantities, as they knew that strategy guides weren't very popular, because you still do get a couple of strategy guides nowadays by, I think, Future Press something is the name of the strategy guides, and sometimes they're exclusive to like GameStop. Like there's this Sekiro Shadows Die Twice strategy guide, which is also like an art book. I'd love to add that to my collection, but people want like $300 or more for that guide now, because there's was produced in such a limited quantity. It was only $39.99, and now people want $300 and $400 for it, which is ridiculous. I would love to get the guide, but I'm not going to spend that kind of money for it. So if I ever find it for cheap, I'll pick it up. But like Dean, him and I have come to the realization that, like, unfortunately, there may be just some guides that are out of our reach, and I'm not going to pay those scalping prices, because recently there has been a renewed interest in strategy guides, as some big YouTubers have made videos recently about strategy guides and why they love them. And of course, anytime somebody popular makes a video about something they think is awesome, it then becomes popular. You get all the scalping assholes in there that, try to buy everything up, hype everything up, and sell everything for super inflated prices. And it just sucks. I love that more people are getting into strategy guides again. For a long time, strategy guides were just looked down upon. I remember going to game stores, buying games at launch. Like, let's say, I went into the Halo 3 midnight launch, and I pre-ordered my game, and they always say, "Hey, do you want the strategy guide with it? Because you get 20% off," which I really love. You save 20% right away for something you're going to use. But people in there would laugh and be like, "Oh, strategy guide? Who the hell wastes their money on that stupid crap? Why do I need that? Just give me the damn game. Hell, I can go online and get free guides. Who needs that strategy guide shit? I don't." And they would make fun of people that like collecting like I did. And I'm like, "Oh, I like them, dude. You just can't beat holding a physical guide in your hand. You just can't beat that." But people didn't like it at that time, and that's one of the main reasons why we don't have strategy guides today, because people stop buying them. So if people stop buying something, they're not going to keep spending money to produce it, because it costs money to pay the writer to take the time to write the guide, and the cost to print with paper and bound the books and everything. That's not cheap. And when people aren't buying your product, they're not going to keep supporting it, and that's why strategy guides went to the wayside. Well, now we've kind of had like a 180 in the whole collecting and gaming community with strategy guides now. Like, all of a sudden, everyone and their brother loves them, and it's funny that I've read some comments in some of these videos on YouTube about strategy guides, how like these people are talking about how they loved them. They've been collecting them for years. "Oh yeah, I love them. I've been buying them forever." But these are the same people just a few years ago who were bad mouthing them in comments and sections about strategy guides being stupid and a waste of money. And now all of a sudden everybody likes it just because someone on the internet says they love them. Well, now that I have to love them too. So I don't follow trends. I don't jump on bandwagons. Just because somebody says they love something doesn't mean I'm gonna love it. I like getting suggestions. Try out the thing. Okay, I like it. Cool. That's great. But I'm not going to buy and collect just because somebody on the internet likes to buy and collect. There's just too many people that get caught up in this "I got to keep up with the Joneses" thing and have the same stuff that they have just because they do. And then they just want to be able to show it off to guys on the internet, whether they're on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or on YouTube, whatever it is. People love having that ability to show off and get that pat on the back, like, "Yeah, man, you did a great job. Yeah, you're awesome. It's great." And then, eventually that feeling just wears off, and you just have to keep doing it over and over. So for me, I like to collect strategy guides, but I like to actually use them. And one final thing to share with you guys here is what type of strategy guide that are my absolute favorite. I love these. I wish every one of the strategy guides were like this, but of course they're not. And that is hardbound collector's edition strategy guides. Now, not every game got these, but some did, like Mafia 3. There's a regular Mafia 3 strategy guide, but then there's these hardbound, like the leather bound, hardcover. The pages are really awesome, and they came with bonus stuff. Like, usually these were priced at like 30 or 35, sometimes $40, where the regular strategy guides were usually about $19.99. This one came with a really cool bonus of a Mafia 3 calendar, which is just really cool. This would have been neat to have back in the day. And they have little art there, and then the little calendar stuff. They also always came with like a back page to tell you about it. Like, so this is, you only got in this collector's guide the full color calendar. You also got case files, bonus section to dive deeper into the story with our case file bonus section that isn't in the regular strategy guide. So very cool. It also came with a code on the back of this where you could download the digital guide, which was a $9.99 value, which there actually are still strategy guides released today, but they're only digital and they don't really advertise them very well. So I did find a couple that are still out there, but for me, I gotta have my physical ones, so they're cool. And like I said, I just love these hardbound ones. Anytime I can get them, I would prefer to get the collector's version over the regular strategy guides, as I just love the quality of the paper and the visuals and stuff. They're always made really well, and these are definitely, just such amazing books. Because strategy guides, like I said, these are meant to be played with, used, and read. They're not meant to just sit on the shelf behind you to look pretty. These were meant for you to read. It's similar to regular books. Like I like sci-fi things like Star Wars and Star Trek novels. I don't buy books just to show on a shelf and have in a library and hey, look, here's a book, cool, it looks awesome, here's the cover. No, I buy them to actually read. I don't have any books in my collection that I wrote that I won't read. My wife is huge into reading, so is my son. They have a huge massive book collection, but they're all books they have read or they plan to read. They don't own any books just to look at and collect. It's not about that. It's about having ones to read. So for me, I love having my physical strategy guides. I always will. It's the reason why I still have physical games. I'm a guy that likes to have physical stuff, old school like that. I'm not into this whole digital stuff. I mean, I think it's cool. We have our Netflix and our streaming services, and you can just click a button and watch a movie or something. I still like having my physical movies, my physical games to play, my physical books to use, because I feel they really enhance my games. And that's why I love strategy guides. I think you guys should collect them as well, but only collect them if you're actually going to use them, as I feel they enhance the game. I know some people aren't really into strategy guides, and that's cool as all. You guys can use your online guides, but I've always loved them. Now, of course, I would love you guys to participate in this discussion series. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on strategy guides. Maybe you've always loved strategy guides like me and you've collected them for years. Maybe you've kind of got out of strategy guides. Maybe you're now just getting back into collecting strategy guides. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The whole main reason I made this discussion series was to get discussions going on various topics that relate to gaming. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this subject. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care. You guys have an amazing day. And Sleepy, we'll see ya next time.